Hey y'all, it's Natalie for A Cherry on Top, and today it's time for the design team YouTube hop. Again, it's the beginning of June, and our theme this month is super fun. It is a favorite thing theme. So you can see I have a bunch of travel photos there, and I have the Coast to Coast Travel Collection by American Crafts, and I have a couple of really fun cut files from the Cherry on Top digital store here. I have this one that is the vacation mode. And then I have cut out of the same paper I picked 5 of the little suitcases that they have. And the lines on these are really skinny, but it's okay because I'm going to completely fill them with my photos. So, I don't have to I'm not making a shaker out of them or anything like that. And so I do lose a little bit of the detail with filling them with photos rather than using the paper pieces, but it's worth it. It's going to be so fun. So I have printed out 7 photos, and we took 7 trips last year, either me and my husband or me and my husband and the rest of our family. And so I wanted to compile them all into one layout because traveling is my favorite. Vacation is my favorite. I was meant to be on vacation. I was made for this. So I decided to document it. And A Cherry on Top had all these adorable cut files to help me with that. So I'm trying to pick the paper that I want to use to back the rest of the letters on the word mode. And I'm using the Coast to Coast collection. I have this white cardstock because I knew that it was going to be really busy with all of the photos. And so I wanted the background to not distract from those. And so I chose the Coast to Coast collection. However, it has some beigey cream colors in it. And so I had to make sure to choose a paper that wasn't beige or cream because I felt like that would maybe conflict with the really crisp white background that I have. This is American Crafts textured cardstock. So I chose this blue one, which is a really beautiful blue with airplanes. And the navy blue paper that I use to cut my cut file is I think it's Echo Park, and it's their checkerboard paper. So the other side is checkerboard, which is really cool and on trend right now. But I just needed the navy to kind of tone it down a little bit and do a solid. But I mean, I didn't want to do white because I was doing a white background. So I actually pulled out my tourist mode collection by Paintfresh Studios as well because I wanted to use a few papers to fill in some of the blanks on the suitcases. So my photos really only fill in the middle part of those longer suitcases, the more square ones. And so I needed some pattern. And like I said, in the Coast to Coast collection, it has some more of a cream color, which is cool. And, but it didn't work for this layout. So I pulled out the tourist mode, and it is perfect. And I'd hardly used any of it, and I love it. So this pictures, okay, so one thing about me is I really am not very good at measurement, which is one reason that I do a lot of distressed layouts. Rulers, measurement, precision, not my thing. Which is fine until you're trying to fit photos into small boxes, cut files and stuff like that. But, I make it work, right? So I used the part that the inside of the cut file that was cut out, and I'm going to use that to just kind of back my photo. So it'll just have a little bit of that navy blue border, which I'm cool with. And then it will just sit snugly and nicely into the suitcase. But when I backed either side with the pattern paper, I just gave it a little bit of extra so that it would have something to stick that middle part down onto. So I didn't have to just wait to stick it directly onto the background paper, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And you'll see what I mean a little bit more because I actually do have to wait to stick down maybe the frame of the suitcase on a couple of these, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So this one, this cut file has a fun little insert, and it's supposed to be a zipper pocket and then a top pocket. And so this photo was a group photo that I just took on the beach and had to prop it up on something to take the photo. And so we have a lot of sky behind us. So I thought that it would work really well to use it in this suitcase, and then the top part I can actually fill in with a little more of our paper piecing, a little more of that pattern paper, give it a pop of that pattern paper that mimics the other suitcases, and just kind of keep the theme of the suitcase going. I give it that little suitcase pocket. And the clouds are beautiful. But I'm probably going to scrapbook this photo again in like my travel album. But this is just like a compilation page, and which I actually really like. I kind of tend to shy away from compilation pages just because they take a little more effort on my part to maybe pull all the photos together or pull the stories together or whatever. But whenever I do them, meaning like I'm not just pulling pictures from one event, printing them, kind of making them work. I'm actually having to like put a little thought into the storytelling or the timeline of it. But I always just super love those pages. They always end up being like some of my most favorite pages. So I did it. I pulled together, I looked through, every month of last year. That's what I did. I went through every month of last year on my camera roll and like, what trip did we take? And then I kind of sent a couple of the favorite photos to there. And then I realized we went on 7 trips. And so I was like, okay, let's do 7 photos, 1 from each trip. And it didn't have to be like the best photo or the favorite. I kind of looked at what cut files I was going to use and decided from there. So again, I'm just kind of cutting down these photos and making them fit on the inserts that were the cutout parts of the cut files, because I'm going to use those to help paper piece it all together. And I was thinking about it while I was doing this, and I was like, this is a really sneaky way of getting people to scrapbook about themselves. Because I know about you guys, but like I'm not super great about scrapbooking about myself. And I feel like that's a thing that most women who scrapbook are probably not great at. A lot of us, if we have children or pets or family members that we decide to scrap about, we tend to focus on them a lot more than ourselves. So, but that's cool. Like, I mean, obviously my family are in this layout as well, but like this is my thing. Traveling is my thing. Vacation is my favorite. It is my favorite thing. So I mean, it's a layout about me. So so I have 4 suitcases. No, I had 5 suitcases. So I decided to use 2 of the O and the D of the word to put the other 2 photos. And then that makes 7. That makes 7 trips. And so I had to pick just kind of the ones that would fit mostly. But I didn't want to take up the whole letter. And also the photo didn't fit into the whole letter because of the whole measuring debacle, but it's fine. They're just cropped down a lot, and that's fine. I mean, really, it was just like a palm tree behind us. And again, I'm going to scrapbook the photo separately within its own travel album. Oh, but back to what I was saying. I like that I did this compilation page because not only is it fun, I like these types of pages, but also because I tend to scrapbook all of our trips outside of our regular family album. I tend to put them into smaller albums, like mini albums and things that contain the entire trip. This is a good little nod to those albums. So if you're looking through our chronological yearly family album, you'll see, oh gosh, they took 7 trips. Let me go look at those trips and look in the mini albums, look at the Life Crafted albums or the Traveler's Notebooks and find those. So I have everything backed. I'm trying to figure out how to configure it on the page. So I thought about sticking it all close together, which I think would look nice, but then I decided to add a little bit of journaling. And so I decided to move the words up at the top, and I'll stick the journaling between the cut file word and then the suitcase words. So I'm going to pop it up on foam tape. So you see my foam tape dots and my cherry foam tape, and that is what I'm using. Oh, and then I pulled out this new Catherine Pooler stamp set, and off the top of my head, I'm not in my craft room. I can't think of what it's called, but I will link it down below because it's in store. It's brand new. And I'm going to use like it's like a motel key kind of idea. And so I'm going to use one of those, and we're going to like hang it off of the cut file. I go in with that mowed lawn, and I was going to do a 2-tone. And then I was like, you know what? That doesn't really jive with the tourist mode collection where the green is coming from, but also like I kind of messed up on the word stamping on the second layer of stamping on that top one because it kind of, you can't really tell, but it's blurry. And so I was like, I had to redo it anyway. And so I decided just to do a 2nd generation stamping with the Rustic Wilderness. So I stamped it off first, you can see on the right page. And then I stamped it the 2nd generation and gave me the lighter look. And then I just went in with a 1st generation stamping of the words, and I really liked the way that looked. And that green goes with the rest of the collection really well. And so I ran it through my die cut machine with the dies that come with that Catherine Pooler die set. Again, I'll link those down below. And now I'm going to start sticking things down. So you can see I've arranged the suitcases how I want them down here. And so some of them, like the ones on the ends, are not already attached to their suitcase. Nope, not ready to stick those down. Forgot one thing. I wanted a little more color in the background. So I know I didn't want it to be too busy. But in the photos, there's tended to be pops of orange that stuck out to me. And so I thought that would be another color that would be nice to highlight. So I'm just very lightly, with a very light hand, using my Distress Oxide and Carved Pumpkin to just add a little bit hop of orange that's going to show behind the cut file. And then a little bit behind the suitcases as well. Again, very light-handed. Normally when I'm doing these, I'm doing like a heavy hand because I want it to not be very spotty. But in this case, I actually did want it to be very light. And then I'm going to go and just create my watercolor and do some splatters like I tend to do. You can see I messed up a little bit. There's a little orange dash in the middle, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up by my journaling. Never fear. Again, distressed. I'm not a neat person. I'm a hot mess, right? So now I'm going to commit. I'm going to stick down the vacation mode cut file with the foam tape that's popping it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick down the suitcases. So those pieces are all stuck together, but the ones on the two ends, I'm going to have to stick down the frame just directly onto the background paper once I have stuck down the middle part of the suitcase. And you'll see me doing that here. I'll take this chance to let you know that this is a design team hop. If you hop along and leave comments on all the videos, you will be entered for a chance to win $25 in store credit to a cherry on top, which I think is a very generous, fun prize. And you get to see what everyone's favorite things are and hear about how they decided to document those, which is going to be super fun. I can't wait to see. I've already seen a few sneaks of the albums and of the projects, and they're gorgeous. And I can't wait to see what everybody else makes and hop along myself. But yeah, this is for a cherry on top. And I will put all the links down for all the collections. I've used the Tourist Mode, which is an older Pinkfresh Studio collection, but I do think it's still in the store. And then the Coast to Coast collection is American Crafts, and it is brand new, and it is in the store. And I think that's mostly what I use. Yeah, Distress Oxides. And then, of course, the cut files. The cut files are exclusive to a cherry on top, which I love. I don't want to talk about how long it took me to tie that little bow onto the motel key, but I have this like little orange like twine that I use to make a fun little bow to let it hang from my cut file, and then I'm just like sticking it down so it doesn't really actually fall off. And then I did a few journaling strips and I printed them in green so they matched the stamp. And then they also have a little bit of a green distress. I inked up the edges. That's what I did. Now I'm going through my die cuts to just highlight the rest of the page. So these are the Coast to Coast die cuts, and I pull out that orange camera, which was super perfect with my orange background. And then these are the Tourist Mode die cuts, and I pulled out that green. I'm not really sure exactly where to use it at first. In fact, I think that one I don't use. But the camera, I wanted it to be die cut like in the middle where the strap was. It was just a little much with the white, even though I know you're gonna see white in between. I don't know, in my brain, just trust me, it was too much. So I used my X-Acto knife there and like my little scissors, and I just like die cut it myself and just cut out that little thing because I felt like that's how it should have looked to begin with. Do you hear me? American Crafts. I know I talk to them a lot in my videos, and like they never respond because they're not watching. That's okay. So I'm going to commit to sticking down my journaling strips here, and I just like to stagger them, kind of like I don't want them to be all matchy lined up in a row or in an order. So I like to stack them like this and kind of make them look a little wonky. Just so it says a little bit of journaling about why I love to travel and things like that. And then I'm going to just stick down a few die cuts and pop up a few because my vacation mode cut files popped up. And so I'm going to pop up that camera, and then I'm going to pop up this one little strip at the bottom that says something about eating, because that's like one of our favorite things to do on vacation is to eat. And I'm just trying to make a good balance. So I'm like balancing out the oranges and visual triangles and the greens and visual triangles. And you'll even see at the end, I don't add it on screen, but off screen, I had to add one more green sticker up at the top to kind of balance out that motel key. And this was a long video, but I still didn't say all the things that I wanted to say, so I'm trying to rush it. I'm sorry. But let me know if you have any questions down below, and I would love it if you'd like and subscribe. I was just going to tell you really quick where we went. From the top all the way down, like you're reading, we went to Panama City, we went to Orlando, we went to, I can't see the photo, We went to Cathedral Caverns, and that's in Alabama. We went to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. We went to, what's that middle one? We went to Flagler Beach, another Florida trip. We went to San Francisco, and we went to Chicago. Those are where the trips are. And then we're done. We're done. That's it. Make sure to hop along. See all my friends. See all of their favorite things. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'd love it if you shop my affiliate links down below if you are interested in purchasing any of these things. Thanks for a cherry on top. And make sure to comment on all the videos for a chance to win store credit. Bye, y'all.